District Police to come speak with us today about information that they feel would be imperative to you as new students.
Thank you. My name is Officer Brandon Fleetwood. This officer is Officer Jeremiah Bussdieker, and then this is our Cadet Ramirez. So a little bit about the police department. This is a general campus safety kind of talk or presentation. So we're going to go over a few different things about our department, how to stay safe on campus, what to look for and what to do, and then what to do in case of an emergency. So first thing is our department. So we are a 24/7 police department. We have about 15 sworn officers. We also have, I believe it's usually around 10 community service officers, and they're going to be in like a lighter blue than this, but darker than this. They're the ones that you see going around doing traffic enforcement, unlocking doors, and security checks. We also have anywhere between 15 and 20 police cadet interns, and that's what these guys look like. So they're in the light blues. There are student cadets, and they're learning about programs, learning about becoming a police officer, and handling general security on campus. We cover mainly the Santa Rosa Junior College campuses, which means we cover satellite campuses as well. So we have campuses in Forestville, which is our Schoen Farm campus. We also have our Petaluma campus, and we have our Southwest campus out on South Wright Road. So we do have to cover a large area. Our main station is located here in Santa Rosa, but we do branch out. We do patrol all of the campuses. And again, we are patrolling 24/7, so there's always an officer on duty. But sometimes people on the satellite campuses have to remember that our response times to those campuses might be a little bit slower than if we don't have an officer there at that time. In cases of an emergency, we do work with outside agencies, Petaluma PD, Santa Rosa PD, Sonoma County Sheriff, CHP, and if there's a situation on a campus where they might get there quicker, they will respond. So we kind of share responsibilities. We help them out, they help us out. It's a good relationship. So some of the things that we do offer on campus, we offer escorts. Sometimes, depending on the situation, it'll be an officer, it may be a police cadet. But if something happens, it doesn't have to happen on campus, but if something happens anywhere and you feel uncomfortable where you are, we want to make sure you guys are safe on campus. We want to make sure that you guys are comfortable while you're here. So some of the things that we do is if you're worried about what might happen to or from class, daytime, nighttime, whenever it might be, we do offer escort services. So we recommend that you guys call us about 5 minutes beforehand to give us a time to get over here, and we can get you where you need to go safely. And like I said, depending on what the situation is, it might be one of our community service officers, it might be one of our cadets, or it might be a sworn police officer. So things you guys have to remember is the campus is an open campus. It's a public campus. You're not always going to have students and staff around. There's other people around. There's definitely visitors. There's people that just kind of roam on campus just to be here. But then there's the students and staff as well. So some safety tips that you guys want to remember is always be alert around while you're walking, when you're in class, when you're going to and from class, or when you're just hanging out on campus. You want to know what's going around you. You'll see a lot of people just reading your books or walking from class to class with your headphones on or staring at your cell phone. And I'm not saying that you can't do it, but it's just unsafe. You have to realize that we do have people that are on probation or parole taking classes here. We have sex offenders here. They all have to register, so we know who they are and what classes they're taking. But like I said earlier, it's an open campus, so people come in to use the computers in the library. People come in to sign up for classes who aren't current students, but they're also previous offenders and current offenders. So some of the crimes that we do see on campus, we do see a lot of thefts. So one thing is, as a tip to you guys, is don't leave anything unattended. iPods, cell phones, computers, bicycles. A big thing is bicycle thefts. So I'll touch on that a little bit. When you're locking up your bike, you're leaving it unattended, it's not always going to be watched. We do have cameras on various spots in the campus, but we don't cover everything. With bicycle thefts, we do recommend that you use like a U-bolt. It's an actual solid U-bolt lock. The little cords, chains, they don't work very well. People can cut through those like really easily. And back to the other property being stolen, like cell phones, iPods, laptops, backpacks, clothes, books. It does happen. It may be another student that takes it. It may be a visitor on campus. You could be in the library studying, get up to use the bathroom, and come back and your stuff will be gone. It does happen. So you just have to be aware of what's around you and just don't leave your things unattended. We do see accidents on campus, and that could be vehicle versus vehicle, vehicle versus bicycle, or vehicle versus a pedestrian. So that goes back to being aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're looking around. Make sure you're not crossing the crosswalk until you know it's clear. If you're riding your bicycle, don't be wearing headphones and don't be distracted while you're on your bicycle. I can't say that every driver is paying attention 100% of the time. Even if they may be at fault, you guys still have to pay attention to where you guys are going to be, okay? Some of the other things on campus, we do see some drug activity. We also see some drug, alcohol, and assaults. So it just goes back to being aware of your surroundings, seeing what's out there, and if you see a suspicious person or if you see suspicious activity going on, then you feel free to call it in, and we'll give her contact information. I recommend that you guys have district police, the local district police department phone number in your phones at all times. That way, if you guys see anything, you can contact us. And our response time in this campus, or if we have an officer there, is very quick. But again, if we're on one of the satellite campuses, depending on the emergency, we may have to send someone else, or it may just take us a little bit longer to get to. With your personal property, it's good to record your serial numbers, your cell phones, your expensive stuff, cell phones, bicycles, laptops, stuff like that. If you have your serial numbers recorded and we catch the person that does it, or we happen to catch somebody with a bunch of property on them that looks to be stolen or not theirs, we can run those serial numbers. And if you guys give them to us initially when the property is lost or stolen, then we'll be able to track it back to you. And then we'll be also to tell, okay, this property has been entered into a stolen property system, so it is stolen property, so this person also committed a separate crime. So it's just a way for us to get the property back to you and to find out what the property actually is. Anything else on that?
No.
All right. So I'm going to go back to being aware of your surroundings. These criminals and people who like to prey on, people on campus, they look for weaknesses. They look for somebody who doesn't know exactly where they are, that you might look lost, you might look unconfident, and they'll pick that out and look at those kind of traits, and they'll wait for you to do something wrong. So when you're walking, try to make it look like you know where you're going. Try to make it look like you're confident at where you are. If you can be in pairs, be in pairs. If it's at night, stay in well-lit areas. Be aware of blind corners, because there's a lot of buildings around here. There's a lot of shaded areas. There's a lot of bushes and stuff like that. So just walk on in the pathways in the lit areas, and walk like you have a purpose, like you're going somewhere. I'm not saying you can't lounge around, but just make sure it looks like you're there for a purpose. It just kind of deters that predator behavior. All right. So that goes along with parking lots and garages. The parking lots, they're all pretty well lit up. The lights are on kind of motion sensored and time lights, so they all have like a little bit of light at all times, but when they see motion, more lights light up. We also have emergency call boxes. So if you see these emergency call boxes, if you press the button, it goes straight to our emergency line. And it contacts our 24/7 hour dispatch, and you'll be able to have a conversation with them. We also have cameras around these too, so that we can see what's going on. So if you're ever in an emergency, you'll see the blue lights in the emergency box. You can go to one of those as quick as possible. But if you don't see one of those, and again, we'll give you the contact information later, you can call our dispatch directly, and that is still 24/7. It's a 24/7 number. When you're in the parking lot and garages, make sure you lock your doors. Don't leave things in plain sight. Like if any of the garages or parking lots and you have your computer sitting out on the seat, that's just kind of invites somebody to break in the window. Put it in your trunk. Don't leave purses out, cell phones out, anything of value out. Roll up your windows if you can and lock your doors. The parking lots there's a lot of parking lots here. There's a lot of cars, a lot of students. We do actively patrol them all the time, but it's a lot to keep up with. So we do see a lot of things getting stolen out of the cars. All right, so when should you call the police? There's a lot of things that we do. It's not just not just crime, but anytime there's anything suspicious going on, anytime there's any sort of medical emergency, anybody's if they're sick, dizzy, they pretty have a heart attack, we have seizures. We do a lot of medical aids on campus. It's like a little town. There's a lot of people in a small area, so a lot of stuff happens all the time. So medical aids, we have heart attacks, people just fainting, and if you want to get real, we do have suicide attempts and stuff like that on campus. We also have health services on campus. So in Plover Hall and also in the Race Building, there's health services and also psych services that we utilize. We also have teams that we work with. There's a mobile support team, and they're psych services. They'll come from the outer hospitals, and they'll come in and help us out if there's any psychological emergency. And another team would be called the CAPE team. They respond to schools for psychological emergencies as well. Other things we respond to: vehicle accidents, incidents without injuries. Because it's a school, we have to fill out incident reports. So even if there's no injury, if there's a hazard, we need to make people aware of that. Let's see. So any type of crime, thefts, assaults, batteries, even when there's no suspect, if you don't get a description, you don't know who it is, we still want to document that, and we still want to make an effort to kind of figure out what's going on. So you can call us even if you don't know, if you don't know too much or what happened. That's what we're for. That's what we can figure out. We also do lost and found. We take property of value, or property with serial numbers. That goes directly to us. Everything else goes to Bertolini Student Center. That's where the other lost and found is. Sometimes property will just go to them, and if it's something that has a serial number or has significant value, they'll send it over to us. So then we'll hold on to the lost property. So if you need to look for that property, those are the two places that you go to. Right, so this is our contact information. You can dial us 527-1000, area code 707. That gets to our 24/7 direct dispatch line. You can also dial 1000, just 1000 from any district phone, any campus phone. So if it's a campus landline, all you have to do is dial 1000. And if you guys don't know where the police department is, Armory Drive is the road that lines the freeway. And Elliott Avenue is the road that cuts straight through campus next to Bertolini, and there's the crosswalk right in the middle. And we're going to be on the northwest corner of campus on Armory and Elliott Avenue. So if you ever need to come visit us or report a crime or take care of anything, that's where we are. You can also report anything anonymously, it's a hard word to say, at our district police website. So if you don't want to be a part of it, but you think it should be known, that's a good place to report it. So, unless you have anything else to add, Officer Bussdieker,
That's it.
that is it. I have a couple of minutes if you guys have any questions. Everybody feel safe? Do you have a question?
So would it be you or the health services that we'd have to go to for an AED cardiac arrest?
So most of our vehicles have the AEDs, so we can respond to that. Any type of medical emergency, we're immediately going to send an ambulance as well. But we are certified as first responders, so which is fairly limited, but we can at least stabilize it, and we do have the AEDs. Any other questions? All right. Well,
So, I really do encourage you guys to put this number in your phones. You're probably all sitting there thinking you're never going to need it, but in the event that you do need it, it's going to be one less thing you have to figure out, okay? So put it in there. We had somebody call us earlier today, and they had it programmed in there, and it was quick and easy for them. So just be familiar with it, program it in there, and if you ever need it, you'll have it.
very good. Thanks for your time, everybody.
You know?